Before we begin, I want to take a moment to honor the cultures behind the stories we are about to explore. The tales shared here come from many peoples, lands, and traditions. I do not change these stories to fit modern expectations or to align with today's social standards. Instead, I present them as they were told, sometimes beautiful, sometimes harsh, sometimes challenging. We are not here to judge the past, but to understand it, to listen, to learn, and to honor the ancestors who carried these stories forward. We also share stories from various religious traditions. These are presented in their historical and spiritual context, with respect for their beliefs that they represent. Every culture deserves respect, context, and acknowledgement, and this space is dedicated to doing exactly that. Story 1. Yggdrasil, the Pillar of the Nine Worlds. There are places within mythology where language begins to fail because the mind struggles to imagine their immensity. The Norse believed such a place truly existed. They called it Yggdrasil, the world tree, not a tree growing somewhere within the universe, but the living pillar upon which the universe itself was held together. Imagine standing at its roots. The trunk before you rises so high that it disappears beyond clouds, beyond the stars, and beyond sight itself. Its bark is broad as mountain ranges. Its roots stretch deeper than oceans, reaching into wells where wisdom, memory, and destiny have flowed since before the first dawn. Every breeze carries a scent of pine forests, sea salt, snow, and rain from worlds separated by unimaginable distances, yet all joined upon this single living tree. As your eyes follow its branches upward, entire realms begin to reveal themselves. Far above gleams Asgard, where the halls of the gods shine beyond the rainbow bridge Bifrost. Across another mighty branch lie the peaceful lands of the Vanir, while radiant Alfheim glows with a light that never fades. Looking outward, frozen peaks mark Jotunheim, homeland of the giants, while far beyond blaze the living fires of Muspelheim. Beneath the tree rest ancient realms of mist, stone, and the dead, while somewhere between them all lies Midgard, the human world, appearing from this impossible height as only one small island within a far greater sea of existence. Yet Yggdrasil is more than a bridge between worlds. It is alive. At its highest branches, an eagle watches over creation with piercing eyes. Along its trunk races Ratatoskr, carrying messages between heaven and the deep places below. Beneath one mighty root, the dragon, Nithhagar, endlessly gnaws, while nearby the Norns draw shimmering water from the well of Ord, each day pouring it lovingly upon the roots so the great tree will continue to flourish. Gods walk its pathways, heroes pass between its realms, the dead begin new journeys beneath its roots. Every creature, every kingdom, every age exists somewhere upon its immeasurable form. The Norse did not imagine the cosmos as empty space scattered with distant worlds. They imagined a living creation whose every realm remained, connected through one magnificent being older than memory itself. Standing beneath Yggdrasil, heaven no longer feels distant. It surrounds you. Every branch reaches toward another mystery. Every root anchors another world, and every leaf whispers that existence is far larger, more beautiful, and more deeply connected than any single life could ever fully comprehend. Story 2. Mount Meru, the mountain at the center of the universe. Imagine standing where the very center of the universe rises before you. The air is impossibly clear. Every horizon stretches farther than sight can follow, yet your eyes are drawn upward to a mountain unlike any ever known upon the earth. This is Mount Meru, the sacred axis of Buddhist cosmology, the mountain around which the heavens, the earth, the sun, the moon, and the countless realms of existence are beautifully arranged. Its immense base is rooted deep within the cosmic ocean, while its summit ascends through worlds so radiant that ordinary language struggles to describe them. The lower slopes shimmer with forests, crystal rivers, flowering groves, and celestial gardens where divine beings wander in effortless peace. Higher still, the mountain becomes clothed in precious stones that gleam like living light. Gold, sapphire, emerald, crystal, ruby, and lapis lazuli catch the brilliance of the heavens, until the mountain itself appears less like stone than condensed radiance. Around Mount Meru lie 4 great continents, each facing one of the cardinal directions and separated by vast oceans that reflect the turning heavens above. The sun and moon circle the mountain in perfect rhythm, their journeys marking the passage of time for every world below. Above the summit rise the celestial heavens, each more refined than the one beneath it. Here dwell the Devas, radiant heavenly beings whose lives span ages beyond human comprehension. Their cities are adorned with jeweled palaces, lotus lakes, and fragrant gardens where music fills the air without instrument or voice. Yet even these magnificent heavens are not the final destination. Higher still lie increasingly subtle realms of meditation and luminous awareness, where attachment grows ever higher and consciousness itself becomes more expansive. Looking downward from Meru's heights, the countless worlds appear as layers of one immeasurable cosmos, every realm connected through perfect order. Looking upward, the heavens seem to continue without end, each level drawing the soul toward greater wisdom and awakening. The ancient Buddhist teachers did not describe Mount Meru merely to satisfy curiosity about the shape of the universe. They offered it as a vision of reality in which existence unfolds through many levels, inviting every being to continue its journey toward enlightenment. Standing before the great mountain, one senses that creation is far larger than a single lifetime, a single world, or even a single heaven. Every path leads upward, every realm teaches its own lesson, and every horizon reveals another waiting beyond it. Mount Meru stands at the heart of it all, unmoving while the countless worlds revolve in harmonious order around its eternal peak. Story 3: The 13 Heavens Above the World. Imagine looking upward into a sky that does not end with the clouds, nor with the stars, nor even with the sun itself. The ancient Mexica, often called the Aztecs, believed that above the earth stretched 13 heavens, each one rising beyond the last in breathtaking layers of divine existence. Standing upon the world below, the heavens seemed to unfold like an endless staircase of light, every realm revealing another still more magnificent beyond it. The first celestial levels shimmer with the movements of clouds, winds, and the great births that soar between earth and sky. Higher still, the paths of the moon and wandering planets trace their eternal courses, while the blazing sun journeys through its appointed realm, filling creation with warmth and life. Above these shine fields of brilliant stars whose constellations move in perfect order across the night, each one reflecting the careful design of the cosmos. Yet the ascent continues. Heaven after heaven rises beyond mortal sight, each more luminous than the one below, until the stars themselves seem only distant lanterns beneath your feet. The air grows impossibly clear. Light no longer comes from a single source, but seems woven into existence itself. At the highest and most sacred level lies Omeyokun, the place of duality, the supreme heaven where the Creator exists beyond ordinary form. Here dwell Ometeotl, the divine mystery expressing both masculine and feminine fullness through Ometekutli and Omesiwatl, whose perfect unity gives rise to all existence below. From this highest heaven flows the life that animates every god, every mountain, every river, every tree, and every human heart. Looking downward from these unimaginable heights, the worlds beneath appear not as separate places, but as one magnificent creation. Every heaven resting gently above another like the petals of the endless celestial flower. The Mexica understood that the universe possessed extraordinary depth. Humanity occupied only one layer within a creation extended far beyond ordinary sight. Every sunrise, every storm, every season, and every star belonged within this sacred architecture, whose summit remained forever filled with divine mystery. To lift one eyes toward the heavens was therefore to remember that existence stretched far beyond the visible world, inviting wonder rather than certainty. The heavens were not empty space waiting to be crossed. They were living realms overflowing with beauty, purpose, and the unseen presence of the Creator, from whom all things continually received life. Story 4: The Seven Heavens. Imagine lifting your eyes toward the night sky until the stars themselves become only the beginning of what lies above. In Islamic tradition, the visible heavens are not the end of creation, but the first veil of a universe that comes upward through 7 heavens, each more magnificent than the one below. The first heaven stretches beyond human imagination, adorned with stars that shine like brilliant lamps across its vast expanse. Yet those countless galaxies and constellations, wondrous though they are, form only the lowest of the heavenly realms. Beyond them rises a second heaven of even greater splendor, then a third, a fourth, a fifth, a sixth, and finally the seventh, each separated by distances known only to God. The Prophet, Muhammad, described ascending through these heavens during the Miraj, the miraculous night journey. At each heavenly gate, angels welcomed him, and within each realm he encountered prophets whose lives had shaped sacred history. In the first heaven stood Adam, father of humanity. In the second were Isa, Jesus, and Yahya, John the Baptist. In the third was Yusuf, Joseph, whose beauty reflected divine generosity. The fourth revealed Idris, Enoch, lifted to the lofty station. In the fifth dwelled Harun, Aaron, beloved among his people. In the sixth stood Musa, Moses, whose compassion for future generations became one of the journey's most moving moments. Finally, within the seventh heaven, Muhammad met Abraham, resting beside the Bat Amamur, the heavenly house around which countless angels continually worship, just as pilgrims circle the Kaaba upon the earth. Yet even the seventh heaven was not the journey's end. Beyond it stood the Sidrat al-Muntaha, the low tree of the utmost boundary, whose roots and branches marked the furthest limits any created being could pass. Its leaves shimmered with indescribable beauty, its fruits glowed with celestial light, and beneath it flowed rivers unlike any upon the earth. Beyond this sacred boundary lay the divine presence, known fully only to God. Standing before such a vision, one senses a creation whose greatness cannot be measured by distance alone. Heaven after heaven rises beyond the last, each unveiling a greater depth of glory, until creation itself reaches its appointed limit before the infinite majesty of its creator. The Islamic vision of the cosmos invites the heart to wonder, reminding humanity that the universe extends far beyond what the eye can behold, and that every layer of existence points toward the one from which all creation receives its life. Daily Thread for July 21st. Tonight, the stories invited us to lift our eyes beyond the familiar sky and imagine the universe as the ancients once did, not as an empty expanse scattered with distant stars, but as a living masterpiece filled with wonder, meaning, and immeasurable beauty. We stood beneath Yggdrasil, the great world tree of the Norse, whose immeasurable roots and branches held together every realm of existence, reminding us that all worlds are bound within one living creation. We climbed the radiant heights of Mount Meru, where Buddhist cosmology envisioned the heavens unfolding around a sacred mountain, whose summit rose through ever more luminous realms toward awakening. We gazed upward through the 13 heavens of the Meshika, where layer upon layer of celestial splendor ascended beyond the sun, the moon, and the stars, until a life returned to the mysterious source from which creation first flowed. Finally, we followed the 7 heavens of Islamic tradition, ascending through realms of astonishing beauty until creation itself reached the Sidrat al-Muntaha, the low tree of the utmost boundary, where every created thing stands in awe before the infinite majesty of its creator. Though these visions emerge from cultures separated by oceans and centuries, they share a breathtaking conviction. The world we see is only the beginning. Beyond the visible horizon lies a universe richer, deeper, and more radiant than human eyes alone can fully behold. Trees become pillars of existence. Mountains become the axis of creation. The heavens rise in endless splendor. Every layer of the cosmos invites the soul to wonder. The oldest storytellers were never content to ask only how the world began. They also asked how magnificent it truly is. As tonight's fire settles into glowing embers, consider this. When was the last time I allowed myself to stand in genuine awe? What if wonder is not the absence of understanding, but the beginning of wisdom? The ancient visions of the heavens remind us that no matter how much we learn, there will always be beauty beyond our horizon, mysteries beyond our sight, and heights that continue calling us to lift our eyes a little higher.